Everybody, welcome to Teaching Crypto. Please hit that like. Please smash that subscribe button. Super chats in the store are available. So some good news. If you haven't done so, I would highly recommend going to your mailbox because the Voyager checks have been arriving for many people. I know I got mine. So please do us a huge favor. Go to your mailboxes. You can directly deposit those old-fashioned way by going to the bank, obviously, or just using your smartphone. So that's the beauty of it. It'll come with a letter saying that you're up to 70% recovery. If you were a former Voyager customer, this is probably the last recovery check of 2024. Hopefully, they can get people to close to 100% by 2025. That remains to be seen. But according to Paul Haig, this is probably going to be the very last check in 2024. Still a long ways to go. You never know, but do check your mail. If you don't get your check by the end of this week, I would definitely probably contact somebody. Go to investvoyager.com. I would say by the end of this week, by Friday or Saturday, you don't have anything from them, contact them next week because, like I said, you should have that check. Again, everyone pretty much knows this, but just in case, this is not crypto. This is just a regular USD check. You can deposit it right away into your bank account. Off you go. Now, what are you going to do with it? Well, that's a great question. And so unless you've been sleeping under a rock, you saw Bitcoin torpedo down to 49K. Was I surprised it went down to 49K? Yeah. Okay. We've talked about the fact that the world is very unstable. The Japanese market tanking big time, right? A lot of markets even paused briefly this morning. And so, yes, I was surprised that Bitcoin went all the way down to 49K. I'm not going to lie to you. Am I still bullish? Absolutely. Long term, no doubt. And some of you reached out to me and asked, hey, do you really still think Bitcoin's going to hit 100K in 2024? And guess what? I'm going to say yes. Now, you might think I'm crazy. You might think I'm delusional. Maybe I'm too optimistic because I got the Voyager check today. Who knows? But I really still believe, and right now we're sitting right below 55K. Now, there is still fear of major wars going on. So be careful. But if you really do study the Bitcoin cycles of the past, these corrections, now this one has lasted just a bit longer, but these corrections after the halving are actually common. It's just this one's been longer. I really do believe had we not had these black swan events, which is Japan, and possible war overseas, unfortunately, that Bitcoin would already be close to 70K. We got rejected at 70K, remember, last week. And usually it takes a few rejections. But I still think that 70K by September is definitely in the works. I still believe that 80K, and I said I would shave my head if we didn't get to 80K by the end of October. And I still believe 100K. And originally I said by Halloween, it might take a little bit longer. We'll see. But I still think 100K is in play. Are we going straight up to 100K? Absolutely not. There are going to be dips along the way. Now, 120 to 150 for the top of the bull run in 2025. That will probably have to mean we get to 2025. All right. And a lot of people saying, I'm planning on buying the dip. Okay. And here's the thing. There are some amazing options. I just want to be honest with you, though. Altcoins do get hammered if something like a major war were to break out and the United States would have to get involved. So I just want you to keep that in mind. So, yeah, talk about XRP. XRP could be an option. I'm looking at smaller alts, but please, when it comes to altcoins, not financial advice, make sure it's something you're comfortable holding for a while, because if there is a major war, it'll be a while before those alts probably pop. Now, if things normalize around the world and it's not as crazy, the altcoins could be very, very profitable, right? Solana, you could have gotten it, oh my goodness, close to 100 early this morning, right? And I still think Solana, when the market recovers, is headed towards 300. It's going to take a little bit longer. ETH, you could have got all the way down, 2,000. Wow. So there are a ton of opportunities. And by the way, Mr. FOMO, unfortunately, they say bad news comes in bunches. Not only did portfolio, just like yours, tanked last night, but he had some flooding. We had some rain in Florida, right? So unfortunately, Mr. FOMO is not here because he had flooding in his house. So it's just it's been one of those days. But hey, let's be positive. Please check your mailboxes. Make sure that check is there. Deposit right away. If it's not by the end of this week, I would definitely contact investvoyager.com. It is a letter with Paul Haig, talks about 70%. And right now, Bitcoin is kind of stabilizing here at $54,792, just a little bit below 55K. What I want to see is over the next week for Bitcoin to reestablish itself at 60K, create 60K as support, and hopefully we can work our way back to 70K before the end of the month. Is that asking too much? Kind of depends. To be honest with you, I still think maybe 49K was the bottom, but we just have to wait and see what happens with world affairs. Long run, you buy Bitcoin right now at 54 to 55K. If you're able to put it in a safe spot, cold storage, wherever it is, all right, you're going to be fine. It is not going to be at 55K. You don't believe me? Do your own research. Talked about this several times on the show in the past. We're not going to be at 55K 4 years from now. Now, if you absolutely need the money in the next 30 days, I can tell you things are a little bit unpredictable. But I do anticipate the bull run will continue. What is the absolute worst case scenario? The absolute worst case scenario is that Bitcoin gets delayed. The bull run gets delayed. Okay? And so that's something you want to be aware of. All right? That's something that you want to be aware of, is that the bull run might be delayed a little bit. I still anticipate this bull run now goes into sometime early 2025. Now, I do think there will be another bear market. I'll be honest with you. I think BlackRock will dump some Bitcoin. So this is not the last bull run. And then all of a sudden we're going to have a super cycle. Too many crazy things going on around the world. Yes, Bitcoin is becoming more and more mainstream slowly. In fact, I think in 8 to 12 years, you're not pro-Bitcoin, you won't have a political career in this country. So again, safest thing to do right now with those checks, if you're a Voyager customer, not financial advice, just go into Bitcoin. Now, you want to go into alts. I love iOS network, right? You know that. I love Carrot. I'm on the Soul Train, right? Talked about XRP was just at 60 not that long ago. Heck, one of the ones we haven't mentioned before, HBAR, took a gigantic dive. Muse, the one that Mr. FOMO is high on, was at 4 million market cap this morning. Thank you so much, guys, for that super chat. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate all of you guys that have joined us. I mean, I'm so happy for everyone today that is getting that second check. Hopefully a third check comes in a few months as well. I mean, I'm thinking probably not till 2025, but maybe we'll get a surprise and everyone can at least get 100% of, I know it's not really 100%, but at least there's some closure. We're getting close to closure, and that's what's really important. I really am optimistic, guys, that we're going to turn things around here before the end of 2000. Hopefully by football season, and that happens at the beginning, it's regular September. Things will normalize. Let's hope for peace. Let's hope for a bull run. Again, I'm going to be optimistic. I still believe in the 100K. I could be a fool. I still think we can get to 80K by the end of October in 3 months. Am I crazy? Maybe. I'm still optimistic. I believe things will turn around, and I think we're okay. I really do. Do not panic if we have another dip over the next 48 hours if there's bad news around the world. That's just the reality. You got to handle the good days with the bad days. The most important thing, guys, I want to leave you with this. When things do turn around, I do believe they will, in October, in September, in early November, please consider taking profits. Now, if you're a Bitcoin holder and you're holding for the next 4 to 8 to 12 years or 20 years, okay. But if you're in any alts, and even if you're in any Bitcoin, I would strongly suggest taking profits. For example, it wasn't too long ago that ETH was at 4K. And to be honest with you, looking back, should have taken those profits. Right now, come back and buy ETH a little over 2,000, write it back up again. And so that's to consider. I still think Eve can make a run at 10K. I can think it make a run at 5K before the end of September. I'm honestly maybe thinking about taking profits on ETH the next time it gets to 5, not worrying about whether it gets to 10. You got to decide that for yourself. Are you taking profits at 20, 40, 60, 80%? If you wait for that 10 to 100x, guys, this cycle is different than the past. There are a lot of tokens. And I think there's going to be even more volatility during this bull run. Just be careful, because if you wait too long, those profits might not be there. So again, if you missed us at the beginning, look for those checks in your mailbox. You can deposit those. We're now at 70% recovery if you're a Voyager customer. And please, please do not play with leverage. I hate to see anyone get liquidated, especially if you've been a loyal customer and viewer of the show. Guys, I thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully everyone has a lovely Monday evening. If you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button, share the show. We greatly appreciate your support, everybody. And thank you so much, Super Soul Man, for the super chat. Everybody, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Later.